Welcome to Once Upon a Roll, the exciting adventures of our heroes in Nyxalia. This week we cover Episode 9, The Long Road Back Home. Ulrich lay motionless at the base of the mine, a sliver of life clinging desperately to his body. Yerel and Octavius desperately trying to patch up his battle-beaten body. His mind stood on a completely different plane of existence. Ulrich stood before the celestial body that was the centre of his belief, and a lot of Goliath culture, the World Tree. Its sprawling canopy aglow with multicoloured iridescent leaves, its mighty roots and branches that twisted and grew through a very fabric of the universe. As he walked, he found himself surrounded by the misty forms of the Titans and the giants that came before him. 3 mighty figures stood before the base of the tree, in wait of Ulrich. Ancient giants of a time long since past told him that he had not truly passed into the realms of the dead, and that if he wanted to, he must brave the labyrinth of trials to return to the mortal realm and his friends. It was an easy choice to make. Running with all the strength he had, Ulrich passed through the door after having spoken with figures seeming to test his resolve. Strength, sacrifice, wisdom, the answers to questions posed to him as Ulrich began to realise that the path he was set upon meant more than he may have ever realised. As the last gate threw him into an ocean of stars, the final words of his ancestors lingered in his mind as he fell. Once your path has come to an end, so too will your life, wanderer. Peanut awoke in a pitch-black expanse of whispers and eyes deep in the darkness. She remembered very little of falling in battle, but this new place seemed to call to her in a way that felt both unnerving but familiar. As she walked, visions of spirits and shadows swirled like people before a familiar sight made her run. Ulrich's pale form, shimmering, running into the inky black. Trying to reach him, a door slammed violently. Peanut found herself shunted into the presence of a glowing being. Trying to speak, she found herself scolded by a being who told her that the powers she was trying to harness were not to be taken lightly. The veil between life and death was being punctured by her meddling, and if she was not careful, it would consume and destroy her. The tone turned from one of anger to one of concern as the figure became a friend. Vixandra, the person Peanut had wanted to find, now came to her in the most unlikely of places. With an audible gasp of air, both of them shot up, their souls having made the perilous journey back to their bodies. The chill of death was instantly wiped away by the welcome embrace of their friends. Breaths were released, as waves of warmth and joy spread across all of them. Fear settled into relief now the group was once again whole. Pulling themselves up, the battle weighing heavy on them as they took stock of the area and the ruined bodies of their enemies that they had taken revenge against. It was truly over now. Battered and bloodied, the victorious Torin joined them on the trail back up to the surface. Having come to the party, the mine had been completely liberated, the workers having risen up with the small force they had brought, and now over 400 of those who had been captured now walked free. The party returned to the cries of those who had once been chained, ringing out like a chorus of hope, filling all of them with a sense of pride. These people were now free because of their efforts. Having taken the key from Varric and raided his safe for a hefty sum of gold, and some kind of launcher for Coric, walking up the steep ramp of dirt they were leading out of the mine, when suddenly they were pulled through arcane means into seemingly another plane of existence. The red-robed figure once again greeted them and congratulated the party on a job well done, revealing that the figureheads behind the Ironshade Consortium were seeking ways to not only control the aether crystals, but the very flow of magic that ran across Nyxalia. Gifting them a symbol of their order, he told them that in the future they would need it, and the order would need them before returning them to their mine entrance once again. Confused, tired, and very hurt, the party slowly gathered themselves on their cart after finishing what little left there was to do. And after a rousing cheer and a final celebration of the battle that had been won, the wheels crunched against the earth and the three people followed on back to life, back home. But peace and victory often come to an end when history comes back round to show itself. As Yerril pulls on the reins of the cart, an arrow lodges itself into the wood near her. A note attached, no archer in sight to have fired it. It spoke of her attempts to rectify past deeds, and that no matter what she does, she cannot outrun her past. And so our tale comes to a close, for now. But the world of Nyxalia still turns, and our hero's journey is far from over. Rest well, dear listener, and dream of grand adventures yet to come. Until next time, may your dice roll true and your stories be ever bound in legend. Good night.